In our first game we get Irnio 1958. I guess my opponent is pretty old. Ooh, we've got one spectator, Endo 07. Wow, he goes for the center game. I've never seen this opening in a long time. But I kind of remember what to do. Yeah, Queen E3 is the main move. And here I remember the move Bishop E7. My idea is to play D5, which I could play right here. And then it's clear that white is definitely not better. It's a completely symmetrical position. What was the move here? Can I castle or was it Bishop F6? I don't remember. I guess I'll castle. Might have been Bishop F6, yeah, who knows. Let's play Bishop D6 to put a piece between his rook and my queen. Yeah, I think it might have been Bishop F6 instead of castles. I'll go Knight F6, I guess. F4 gives away some squares, like the E4 square, for instance. So like stuff like Bishop F5 to get even more control over the E4 square makes a lot of sense in the near future. Like maybe even next move and stuff. Yeah, this position is pretty equal, I think, but it's definitely possible to play for both sides. Let's see, how do we do this? I guess I go Bishop F5, why not get the last minor piece out? I might want to go Knight B4 at some point to put pressure on C2. If Knight H4, I think I'll have to go Bishop G4. So that makes quite a bit of sense. I guess Rook E8 is also a move I want to play. Put my rook on an open file. Hey Sad, welcome to the video. Hello George Hua, I hope you're loving the stream, man. Welcome, welcome my friend. My opponent is thinking for a long time. Maybe he's not so sure what to do. I guess that's a good sign. He goes H3. Maybe his idea is to go Knight H4, but I'll just go Rook E8. I don't think it's a problem, Knight H4. I have Knight E4 if I really want to. Okay, he goes here. This makes a little bit of sense. I have the move Knight E4. It looks pretty possible. Maybe I could have gone Knight B4 instead of what I did, but it's too late now. Let's go Knight E4 maybe, and then take on E4 with the bishop if my opponent takes. Hey Sadhal, those are a lot of emoticons. That's quite funny. I wonder what they mean. If Bishop C3, what will I play then? I don't know. Yeah, this is a smart move, probably winning the bishop pair. Unless I want to agree to a verse structure, but maybe it's not so dangerous to allow Bishop takes C6. I also need to think of the tactical move Bishop takes C2. I think it works. Yeah, Bishop takes C2 seems to work. King takes C2, Knight D4, King B1, Knight takes B5. Bishop takes C2, Bishop C3, then I can play Bishop G6, I think. Yeah, I think Bishop takes C2 works, because if it works, it's just an extra pawn. Wow, I already have 61 followers. Yeah, Sadhal, I know, it goes up fast, doesn't it? It goes up fast. I mean, I only began streaming like a week ago, so I think it's pretty decent. So many people calling me. This move, in between move I missed. Maybe the tactic doesn't work due to this move actually, that would be terrible. Yeah, I missed this move. To be honest, I think the tactic doesn't work after all. So what should I play? Yeah, what a blunder, guys. I think I just blundered a piece, but let's try and hustle my opponent somehow. Okay, how to try and do this. Guess I'll take on D1 and then after Bishop takes E8, what will I do next? I can play Bishop H5. I don't know how great that is. Fine, I guess I'll play it. Keeping some more pieces on the board. Yeah, I just blundered a piece here, but okay, I mean, the game goes on, what can I do? Crying about it isn't going to help me win the game. Okay, what can I play? Yeah, it's not easy playing a piece down, but you can try. Okay, I'll try and make it sharp and tactical. After Knight E4, I want to go Queen E6, Knight takes D6, Queen takes A8. and at least a couple of pieces are hanging. Welcome, Grizzly Magnum. Yeah, I know that you didn't know I was streaming. Wow, 6 people watching already. That's pretty decent, I think. Okay, my opponent wants to take on g6. Let's go bishop g6, I guess. Yeah, just casually playing a position down a piece. As if nothing, yeah. I'll take with the queen. I have some cheapos with the move h6. Though my opponent could play something like queen c3 maybe, and then I don't have them anymore. Though still h6 would be a decent move. Then knight f3, queen takes g2 to try and get some material for the extra piece. This is Mantrula. How are you doing? The stream is going fantastic, Mantrula. Thank you for asking. All is well. He goes queen e3. This makes quite a bit of sense. To play next f6. Maybe no, that's too weakening. Let's go h6, I guess. Just be very greedy. If knight f3, I wanna take on g2, rook g1, and then I actually take on h3. This is probably losing because my king is very exposed, but maybe it's okay practically. Because I will lose anyways if I don't do this. But after bishop c3, I think I might just be lost right away, to be honest. So maybe my idea didn't really work, unfortunately. Because bishop c3, g6, queen d4, I don't see what to do next. So that's not so good, but hopefully my opponent won't notice that. Okay, he doesn't. Okay, I guess I'm happy to trade off queens, because now my opponent no longer has an attack. Let's go, what to play next? Maybe king h7, knight f5, bishop f8. It's quite passive. But okay, I actually got a couple of pawns for the piece. It's not looking as bad anymore. I mean, I kind of came back after just blundering a piece. Let's go g6 maybe, pushing his knight back. Then maybe rook d8 attacking his bishop. Yeah, I mean, hopefully there will be some kind of time scramble where my opponent blunders back. Let's go bishop d6, try and attack this pawn. f5 he has, then I might go bishop f4. Okay, let's go here. Yeah, he defends and I don't see what I do next, to be honest. So that's a bit unfortunate. Maybe rook e4 makes some sense. If f5, I think I'll go g5. Okay, let's go here. Then what do? Let's try f5. It's a very risky move, but I will try it. Gluing his pawn on a dark square, that's the only advantage. Wow, I missed that he can just do this. Yeah, then it's not good for me at all. Let's go rook e4, perhaps. King g7. I want to push g5 at some point, maybe, to get some passed pawns. I guess I'll go here with the rook. Yikes. It's not very good being a piece down. I prefer not being a piece down. Let's go c6. Yeah, g5 is something I definitely want to play next, so that I at least get to push my pawns a little. Push them, baby. That's what pawns are for. They're made to be pushed. So g5 next would be really nice if I could play it. Yeah, let's play it. Hopefully my rook isn't getting trapped. I don't see how it would be, so I'm not too concerned. Rook here is a good move, I think, because then I'm forced to play f4. Yes, my opponent flags, even though I was just a piece down. Yes. I move 35, I missed the tactic. Let's have a look at the game, guys. That was a terrible game, but fortunately my opponent was mercilessly flagged in the end. Let's go, guys. Chessinators for the win. Guys, Grizzly Magnum, an international master, is actually going to play followers today. He's a good friend of mine, and an international master on top of that. So check out his stream, guys. It'll be really nice. He posted in the chat, so I think you can see his name, guys. I would really advise you to check it out. Maybe I will even be in his stream. Okay, let's have a look at the game. So the center opening. And here it's quite clear that this is not a problem for black at all, but I think you're supposed to go bishop f6 here, if I'm not mistaken. But okay, maybe castles isn't too bad of a move. Strangely enough, I don't remember this idea of bishop h4. I studied this opening a little bit as black, so that's strange. Hey, yeah, that's a funny emoticon, Sadhal. Because I felt as if maybe my position wasn't that great here. And here, yeah, instead of playing the primitive rook e8, I should have gone for my plan with knight b4. I was even talking about this idea, because now I put pressure on the c2 pawn. Though it becomes very tactical and messy, because my knight might potentially get trapped. So some very sharp stuff going on here. Bishop g6, f5 maybe even. Yeah, it's very sharp position, to be honest, but it's a cool idea. I guess I should definitely remember the idea of knight before threatening on c2. Wow, Sadhol, that's a lot of emoticons. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I'm not going to count all of those. h3, a slow move. Yeah, I had knight b4. And knight e4 was maybe not the best. I think I should just have played a6 perhaps, and realize that perhaps okay, my structure is a bit worse, but at least I have the bishop pair, and the position is pretty open, so it's pretty relevant, the fact that I have the bishop pair. Can you show the tactic you missed? Sure, Meme Langela. I like trolls. What do you mean, George Hua? On one hand, some good trolls are actually very funny, so, you know, it's... Some people get offended, but I think I rarely get offended. I mean, I remember this one guy in the chat who said many funny things. It's not like I felt offended. Grizzly, yeah, I think Grizzly plays on Chess as well as chess.com. Okay, but in this position the computer says white is better. I'm not so sure. Maybe, but black has the bishop pair. I believe in black long term a little, so I'd say it's equal, at least intuitively. Because knight g5, okay, it's a pretty smart move. And here I should have gone bishop g6 perhaps, and then it's just a normal game. But I was a bit too creative with bishop takes c2. You were wondering about what I missed, Memelangela 9. Now you see what I missed. Wow, Sad Hall. That's so many emoticons, man. I played bishop takes c2. I was so ignorant. I only calculated 2 moves and one of them isn't even forced. This is what I calculated, very deep calculation, and what? I even miscalculated what I calculated. I missed the move queen d3. Oh wow, bishop takes c2. How can I play chess like that, guys? But it only comes to show that even masters blunder sometimes. Yeah, evil and angel magic wand. It does happen sometimes, but still, a bishop takes c2. Oh no, guys, what an optimist I am playing bishop takes c2. I was thinking about bishop c3, right? And then I was like, oh, I have bishop g6. This is probably good for me. But what? The computer doesn't even like this. Bishop takes c2, guys. Don't play bishop takes c2. That's a lesson learned. So I guess I should be more aware of my opponent's opportunities. And I also think I noticed one mistake in my thinking process. I stopped analyzing after the king moves and the knight takes b5. I should have checked if I have any hanging pieces that are not protected, and this knight on b5 is one, and should have calculated a little bit further and seen queen d3, because it's a very forced move, attacking the knight and the pawn as well. And if I don't have anything concrete, which I don't, then I'm simply losing actually. Wow, Sadhal, that's a lot of emoticons for sure. But yeah, so I was just chilling, guys, you know, just casually playing a game down an entire piece, like, no problem, guys, no problem. What's the issue? I'm just down like a piece, that's nothing. Okay, I moved. He had queen d3, bishop g6, bishop takes f7. I missed this, and I'm almost certain my opponent missed this as well. Okay, bishop a4. Yeah, I was a bit concerned about knight e4, then I wanted to go queen e6. I was hoping for something like this, when it's kind of sharp, because I'm threatening queen a1 check, and then taking here. I'm also threatening his bishop and his knight, but he simply has too many pieces and can start attacking me with the bishop, I guess. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't think I will ever survive here, regardless of how optimistic I am. I mean, yeah, this looks like a catastrophe, as if my king is just dying. I think it's not an illusion. Yeah, George Hua, I mean, it's good to be an optimist in general. Thank you, Angel Magic Wand. Yeah, it's when you become more experienced, then it's a bit easier to calculate under time pressure. Thank you. Queen takes g6, and I was going for some cheapos with the move h6. I was hoping my opponent would know this, but he did, sadly. And here, I mean, I love taking pawns, right? So, and because I'm down so much material, if I don't take these pawns... Hey, let's go, Sadhal! Could you play a game with me? I'm bad at Blitz, but got a 2000 on Leeches Classical. I might. Okay, if you challenge me to Blitz, I think I'll actually accept your challenge. So go ahead and challenge me, Memelangela 9, if you want to play. I can play, I guess, no problem. Yeah, so usually when you're under an attack and you're much worse, because I'm simply a piece down, then I thought, okay, let's be a piece down, but at least have a couple of pawns for it. In all honesty, yes, I'm opening, many lines against my king. For instance, this rook is pointing straight towards my king, so it's not ideal. But on the other hand, I get a few points. But here I was afraid of the move bishop c3. Fortunately, my opponent played knight d4. Okay, my opponent made a little mistake here. Even though he's up... yeah, I'm going to play a simul, by the way. Evil Angel Magic 1, so stay tuned for that one. My opponent made a mistake here, even though he's up material, so usually it is in his favor to trade pieces. This is an exception, because he has an attack on my king. Because after, for instance, bishop c3, it's not so easy for me to defend my king. So I was very happy when he traded off pieces, because now, with the queens of the board, my opponent's attack isn't nearly as serious. Yeah, Evil Angel Magic 1, check out Grizzly Magnum's channel, he's a really cool guy, check it out, man. And here I'm just casually playing with 3 pawns with a piece. It's clear that I'm worse. I'm not sure by how much, but I'm worse for sure. F5, I'm not sure if it was a correct positional decision, because it's a very serious decision. It glues this pawn on one hand, but also potentially gives away squares like e5. Right, someone challenged me. Okay, I guess I'll play blockheads. And then I can analyze the game later. See, I'll go d5, I guess. e6, why not? This is something I tend to play. Let's go bishop b4. This is a possible line for sure. Though according to a good friend of mine, Frode Urkedal, it is refuted, and white can get a very good position out of the opening. Though I'm not even sure if Frodo's variation is correct, because I think I found an improvement for black. I think I can take on c4 here, and this should be a pawn. It's not that easy to get back. If my opponent plays e4, I'm ready to play b5. I'm trying to hold on to my pawn on c4. I think if my opponent will go a4, I can consider the move bishop b7, but maybe he will have e5 then. Yeah, I think so. So I guess I'll just defend the pawn with c6 instead. Seems reasonable to... I actually found a cool tactic. Maybe the tactic doesn't even work, yeah. Maybe it does, who knows. Play bishop b7, maybe, sure. After my opponent castles, I want to defend my pawns with the move a6, and black has to be very careful not to end up being a pawn. Sorry, white has to be careful, because I'm simply a pawn up. I also have ideas of bishop takes c3 as well. Let's go knight d5, I guess. Seems like a pretty good position for me, because I don't see the compensation. Yeah, I think my opponent shouldn't have taken on b5 actually with his a-pawn, because now my bishop on b7 has become a bit open and much more active. Because before, the bishop on b7 was blocked by the pawn on c6, which I think is pretty bad for me. How to take back, with the bishop or with the pawn? Both are very tempting to consider. I guess I'll take back with the queen. I thought it was a bit funny that I thought of taking back with the pawn and then with the bishop, and then I decided to take with the queen instead. I don't think it makes that much of a difference, so I don't see a reason to spend too much time on this decision. Let's go knight d7, develop the piece. Next I might want a castle. And then play something like rook ac8, rook fd8, and just get my rooks into the game as well. Saturday is a busy day as one of my clubs is match with live stream here on Twitch. Be occupied today. What do you mean, evil? You're talking about my friend's stream. I'm sorry to hear, but maybe you can follow him so you don't miss out when my good friend Grizzly Magnum L will stream, because he's an international master after all. And I actually doesn't... my opponent blundered mate in 1, that's cool. Doesn't pawn takes give me b3? I wonder what my opponent is talking about. Let's have a look at this game, guys. When do you mean doesn't that give you pawn to b3? Let's see. Blockheads, when do you mean you have pawn to b3 in this position? Yeah, I think here it's okay to take on c4. I remember looking at this a little bit. Here I thought about bishop b7, but I wasn't sure what to do after e5. What, I have bishop e4? No, I don't think. I think the computer is just messing with my head. Okay, knight d5 and my opponent gets to take here. Okay, I've seen something kind of similar like this. There is a variation very similar, but I'm not so sure about these positions, because after all, even though black has a very strong square on d5, black also has very weak pawns, the pawn on c4 and the pawn on c7, so I think white should be better in these types of positions. Are you ever considering pawn takes? And then I took with the queen. Yeah, I took with the queen. I mean, if you had b3 after I took with the queen, let's have a look at the game. Okay, bishop e2, I think is how we play. Yeah, I don't think I can trust the computer, because here it says black is slightly better and here white is better. I think it's very equal, because white does have the center as compensation for black's extra pawn. You think you have b3 if I would have taken on d5 with the pawn? I'm not so sure, but let's have a look when we will get to that point. Bishop b7, castles, a6, protecting my pawns. Yeah, this I think is an anti-positional decision, guys, because after pawn takes b5, my bishop on b7 is now open. As actually was a decisive factor in the game when I think about it. Because at the moment my bishop is very bad, it's pointing towards c6. So blockheads, don't take on b5 in similar positions ever again. Okay, there are always exceptions in chess, but it's rarely a good idea to open my bishop by taking on b5 and then letting me take with the c-pawn. Okay, went e5, knight d5. Now I think black is just up clear pawn. I don't see why it's compensation with this bishop opened. And here, yeah, I wasn't sure how to take. You say that if I would have taken with the pawn, you have b3. Is that what you said, Memelangela 9? That you could have played b3 here? I don't see why I would be too worried about b3 in this position, though. I mean, what's the big deal with b3? You're not even threatening to take on c4. But on the other hand, the computer notices this break, and then I guess you go aggressively with knight g5. And it's an incredibly sharp position. Yeah, some kind of crazy stuff going on. To be honest, I didn't think of that when I was considering taking with the pawn or taking with the queen. But maybe it was instinctual to take with the queen so I keep the d5 square. But yeah, I guess I need to remember this e6 idea as white. And then going for a flash attack with knight g5. Yeah, it's pretty smart, I think, actually. Because if white doesn't have anything in this position, then black is just one pawn more than white. Yeah, also taking on d5 blocks the bishop on b7. Even though my structure is in some ways better, I still feel as if it's the d5 square blocking the bishop and giving a potential e6 break isn't worth it. So I took with the queen instead. Okay, I developed with knight d7. The computer says knight c6 is marginally better, but I don't think there's a big difference. Okay, rook d1 castles, and here I'm just up a clear pawn, and then my opponent, fortunately, or unfortunately for him I guess, blundered checkmate in one move with knight g5. Alright guys, thank you for watching this video everyone, see you in the next